Welcome to a new Scary Tuesday, TikTakers. You know, we are constantly finding pretty interesting information on the internet, and sometimes that information can be as terrifying as it is fascinating. Such is the case of an unfinished PlayStation game we found titled Petscop. Have you heard of it? According to our research, it was developed in 1997 by a company called Carolina. But very few people knew about it until March 12, 2017, when someone made a YouTube channel also titled Petscop to upload footage of the game. And sure enough, after the first few videos, people who love creepy video games quickly popularized and viralized the channel. Petscop is a game surrounded in mystery. The main goal is to capture different creatures known as pets, which can be found all over different levels. Just like in many other games, the player has to solve different puzzles in order to advance. In the videos, we can see the player exploring the interface, which looks cutesy and made for children. The game's graphics are also colorful and cartoonish, so everything looks pretty innocent. But as the player advances more through the game, the whole thing starts taking a dark turn. And the worst part is that many believe the game makes references to children who have passed away, such as Candace Newmaker. Are you familiar with her case? Candace Elizabeth Newmaker was born as Candace Tiara Elmore on November 19, 1989 in North Carolina. Her parents were Todd and Angela Maria Elmore, who also had two other children. Social services discovered that the three children were being neglected and mistreated by their parents, so they took custody of them. The three siblings were separated, each one sent to a different host family. Candace lived in different homes until she turned 7 years old and was adopted by Jean Newmaker, a pediatric nurse from a wealthy family. She wanted to give Candace a happy and comfortable life, but living with her was the opposite of what she expected. Candace's behavior towards her host mother, Jean, was distant and disrespectful. And of course, Jean didn't like that at all. Moreover, Jean noticed that due to her post-trauma, Candace would frequently kill fishes and play with matches trying to set things on fire. Worried, Jean turned to psychiatric professionals. Candace was diagnosed with attention deficit disorder as well as reactive attachment disorder. Normal therapies to treat those issues weren't working, so they decided to try experimental treatments on her. And that's how they tried Connell-Watkins attachment therapy. At Connell Psychiatric Center, they promised Jean that they could reset Candace's childhood, that it would be just as if she was born again. And so, on January 2000, they agreed to carry out a 2-week-long rebirthing therapy. It was carried out in April, and during the last session, Candace perished. Connell-Watkins and Julie Ponder were in charge of the therapy sessions. Their procedures were very unorthodox, which is why it's surprising that they were allowed to go so far. During the final session, Candace had been negatively affected by the changes in her medication, but they still kept going with it. They put a flannel sheet on Candace and asked her to lay in a fetal position. The idea was for her sheet to simulate her mother's uterus. She was completely wrapped in the sheet, and they started to ask her several questions. The girl had no way to escape, as many adults were holding down the sheet and even put a bunch of cushions on top of her. She was being pressured from every side. Much later on, a recording was found and played during the trial, revealing that Candace was crying for help. But nobody took her out of her flannel prison. She suffocated to death. Jean, who was in another room witnessing that horrid scene, went in to try to reanimate her, but despite her efforts, Candace ended up dying in that place. And now that you know Candace's story, don't you think it's cruel that it's being used in a video game? For now, nobody has demonstrated that Petscop is a real game, and many believe it's just an elaborate prank. As of right now, 6 levels of the game have been shown, so it's up to you to wait for the mystery to be solved or try to somehow get a copy of the game. And either way, please be careful, TikTakers. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it. And if you want to see more Draw My Life videos, subscribe to our channel. See you in the next episode!